What's up, what's up, what's up, y'all? My name is Aisha, and this is my channel where I talk about everything health from the top of the crown to the soles of the feet. Now, today, we are going to be talking about what to look for in a good loctician, so stay tuned. All right, guys, so when I started my locked journey, the first thing I obviously did was research. What kind of locks did I want? What kind of styling? What kind of versatility? What size? Yada, yada, yada. I can go on and on and on about what I look for. I look for a very, very, very long time. You do not have to wait 6 years to get locks, but you know what? It is a process. So I wanted to be sure, And then when I got them, I had to be more sure. So when I look at someone's locks, one of the things I did, and this is, y'all, this is like top tip of the day, is I looked at somebody's hair and I said, girl, who did your hair? Because when we see things, when we see the product, when we see the finish, we're like, man, that looks wonderful. Who was able to service you in that kind of way? And that's what I want to know, because even though we have all these things, y'all, we have social media, we have marketing, we have, you know, newspapers. Not that anybody really reads newspapers, but they still exist. We have magazines. We have all these things to market to us a certain product. But I kid you not, if someone came up to me that I knew, or if I saw something, I would be like, hey, where'd you get that from? Or if they'd be like, man, you know what? I got this and I loved it. You should definitely get it. I can't tell you how much faster I would say, hey, let me go ahead and get that, right? Anybody ever said something to you, or they had something and you're like, oh, I love it. Where'd you get it from? They didn't have to say anything. And you're on Amazon or whatever, buying it up. That is one of the biggest things about locks, is that you can see it, you can feel it, you can touch it. Now, don't go around feeling and touching nobody's hair without their permission. That's not cool. Not now, not ever. But you can go and see, oh, wow, I love how your locks turned out. Can you give me their information? You know, whatever. And see who you can find, because the best thing is to see their work. And that definitely helps with you trying to figure out, okay, what do I want in my locks? How do I want them? Is this somebody I can talk to? And so I would say, if you have somebody who's already highly recommended, I would go first with them. I would not try to find your own person or, you know, blind date it, because this is your hair we're talking about. This is not something you can just undo very quickly. Blind date it is a no-go, okay? Or try your best not to. So if someone comes highly recommended, I would say contact them first. Second, I would say try out your people and talk to them. There are many locticians who will do like a consultant type thing, and they will let you come in. They may do test locks, they may talk to you about the locks, whatnot. You can get a feel for people that way as well. Now, my loctician, before we got started, we had a talk. Right? Because it is a change. It is a commitment. So we had to talk. What is it going to cost? What are they going to look like? Managing expectations, y'all. Because I had all these pictures of these people with locks, and she said straight up, she said, honey, your hair is different. It's not going to react the same way that her hair will or her hair will. You just don't really know what your different textures, how parts of your hair are even going to handle the locks. And more so, just treat the lock. Like with mine, it's probably more frizzy, right? With others, it may not be. Mine has done weird things over the years. And it's only been 3 years. But it has done some weird stuff. I have to go and do a video on the weird things that it's done. I've never lost the lock, though. Hallelujah. So, but she was able to talk to me. She was able to answer all my questions. And these are actually, these two locks right here are, I believe, my test locks. That I originally got, and I was like, ooh, I like that. But then later on, I realized that they were the size that I wanted my locks to be once they doubled in size. So I had to go back, and it was a whole thing. But it was fixed. All right. So I would say, one, if you have somebody who's highly recommended, go with them. and go talk to them. 2, always, 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 before you pay any money or go sit in anybody's chair for them to start in your head, talk to them and let them know what's going through your mind. Let them know what you want. Let them know your expectations, y'all, because you cannot assume that they're going to do what you think you want, or they're going to do what you would like to see in your head. So you have to communicate, right? It just doesn't come out your head into theirs. It doesn't work like that. All right, so another way to find a good loctician is to, if you are specifically doing Sisterlocks, going to the website. And so they have Sisterlocticians on the website, certified, all that good stuff. So if you're like, girlfriend, I need that grid pattern, I need perfection to a max, that's where you can find it, y'all. And I've said this in other videos, but you can find a trainee. So someone who's going through the process, who can start the process, but it's just not completely certified. So think like you're in college, right? You're in your 4th year of medical school. There's a lot of things you can do, but there's some things you still have to graduate in order to do. Things like that, okay? And so, and this is just the Sisterlocks. So they know how to do the grid pattern. They know how to start interlocking. They know how to do all this stuff. They just have to get that little stamp on that piece of paper saying that they are officially certified. So that is usually a pretty safe way to go, because you know that they have that certification. You know that they do hair well. You can always ask for references. That's another thing, y'all. If you're unsure, ask for references. Okay, who hair have you done? Are they satisfied? What does it look like? If they have a portfolio, that's even better, because then you can actually see their hair, and before and afters are bomb.com, y'all. Okay, bomb.com, because then you can see, oh my gosh, she had this, you know, crazy long, thick, luscious hair, and now this is what her locks look like. Or she started off with finer hair that was really curly. This is what her locks look like. So it can kind of give you an idea, but again, your hair will react how it's going to react to the lock, and sometimes it's just unpredictable, right? And so try to find people that you're naturally drawn to. And I only say this as an introvert, because the last thing I would want is someone who was unrelatable, or maybe someone who was just as quiet as me sometimes, or maybe someone where I'm like, man, but they do good, you know, because ultimately you're gonna have to sit in that chair for at least like 24 hours to get them installed, and then you're gonna have to sit for another 4 to 5 to 6 hours every 6 to 8 weeks to get them retightened. So having a good relationship with a loctician should be a priority, okay? Because this is the person you're gonna trust with your hair. And so looking for those things, y'all, it can be hard, because I've had friends who've had great locticians. They move away, things happen, they stop locking hair. It's insane out here, and I've been blessed to have one since I started my journey, and she has not wavered. And I actually have a second one who is just kind of in the pocket just in case I need somebody. So it can be very tough trying to find somebody. When you find somebody, y'all, lock it in and keep it. All right, do not waver from that. All right, so if you don't know anybody, you have no recommendations, anything like that, and you want Sisterlocks, start another website and go from there. Okay, if not, if you see people with locks, which I'm sure y'all see women with locks, and if you don't, I encourage you to go somewhere with people with locks. With my first bout of getting my hair locked, I was gonna get Sisterlocks, and I was gonna travel to another city in which to do it for a weekend. And so that may be something that, if it is available to you, that you can do, or if there's a town anywhere nearby you can get it done. Oftentimes it's a lot harder to start the locks than to maintain them. So even if you have somebody who's done traditional locks but they do use interlocking method, you can just go to them, y'all. It not necessarily is a big deal who you go to maintain them, but I would just make sure, talk it over with your loctician, and make sure they're not doing things that would harm your locks, like putting too much stress on your locks or putting them too tight. Okay, like if your scalp is pulling, y'all, it's just like having on a too tight ponytail. Making sure that it's not too tight, it's not too crazy. And if you style, again, nothing that's gonna like, you know, like, okay, Men in Black, do you remember the Edgar suit? Gonna like pull the skin back. We don't want anything like that. We don't want anything like that. So just looking through. So these are some of my tips and tricks. This is some of the things that I did when I was looking for a loctician. Again, I have gone to the website. I went to word of mouth. Although at the time there were not a lot of women with locks around me. I asked everybody I saw, and I was like, who do you recommend? And then I met a friend from church, and she was like, yeah, she's a licensed natural hair stylist. And so I was excited, and then she was able to do it, and she's been maintaining them. So it can be a bit of a learning curve. You may go through a few people to find your person, but y'all, please do not fret. It will come. It will come. And if not, you can just come to my area and my loctician will get you done. Okay? Or the second one will too, right? I have two. Just in case. But guys, if y'all have any questions, or if you're like, man, I got this awesome tip on how to find, locate, and get a good loctician, please comment down in the comment section. But otherwise, guys, I will see you next time on this channel. Bye-bye.